Okay, welcome to factorising quadratics 2. So we're going to be factorising and solving quadratics in this video. To start with, let's look at example 1. We're going to expand the following, so we're starting from stuff we already know, 2x plus 3 times by x plus 5. To expand that, we're going to use the box method, which we've done before. 2x times by the box plus 3 times by the box. The box here is just x plus 5. So it's 2x times by x plus 5, which is 2x squared plus 10x, and then 3 times by x plus 5, which is 3x plus 15. Now we can simplify. So 2x squared stays the same, 10x plus 3x is 13x plus 15. Okay, that's expanded, that's us done. The next question builds on this, so we're going to, before we do the next question, it's a sunny delight. Okay, so the next question then, it's going to be fairly similar. Solve 2x squared plus 13x plus 15 is equal to 0. Now this is similar to the previous video, but the quadratic is just slightly more complicated. We've got that 2 before the x squared, which changes things just very slightly. The method is still the same though. The first step is to factorise. Okay? So we're going to put it into two brackets and set it equal to 0. Now to start with, we know how to factorise this because we expanded the factorised form in the previous question. In question 1 there, we know that the factorised form is going to be 2x plus 3 times by x plus 5. In a moment we'll look at how we would have done that if we didn't know that was the factorised form. Continuing then, we know from the previous video we could put this in a box and this in a bubble. So we know that if we have box times bubble is 0, that means that box is 0, or the bubble is 0. The box in this case is 2x plus 3, and the bubble is x plus 5. Okay, so if 2x plus 3 is 0, well, before we move on, the time is 12:19. So if 2x plus 3 is 0, that means that 2x is minus 3, which means that x is minus 3 over 2. That's one of the solutions. That's one of the values of x that work. So if x plus 5 is 0, that means x is minus 5. So the solutions are x is equal to minus 3 over 2, or x is equal to minus 5. They're the two solutions that work in the equation 2x squared plus 13x plus 15 is 0. Okay, now we're going to look at what would happen if we didn't know the factorised form already. Okay, so option 1, you're going to be smart and think hard. Okay, so we just stare at the equation for a bit, and we see that we've got 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. We know that it's going to be in double brackets. By the way, the year is 1936. We know that it's going to be in two brackets, so we can write those down. Okay, and we can set it equal to 0, because the first question is equal to 0. So it's in two brackets. We know that that 2x squared term came from multiplying two things together, and the only thing it could be is multiplying 2x by x. So I know that it's going to be 2x times by x. Next I know it's two additions, so I know that it's going to be 2x plus something and x plus something else. If I look at the 15, we can look at the factors of 15. Factors of 15 are 1 and 15 and 5 and 3. It's probably going to be 5 and 3. So what I would do in my head is I would see if it was 2x plus 5, x plus 3, or 2x plus 3, x plus 5. If we tried it as 2x plus 5 and x plus 3, if we were to check this by expanding using the box method, 2x times by x plus 3 plus 5 times by x plus 3, and this is 2x squared plus 6x plus 5x plus 15, we would see that we wouldn't get the original question. So this would be wrong. Okay. So that means that actually it was the other way around. It was 2x plus 3 and x plus 5. And if we were to check that, we would get the correct answer. So that's option 1. You have to be quite smart about it and think hard about it and stare at it a little bit. Option 2. I'm going to give you a method now for doing this, but you still have to be smart. You just have to think just a little less hard. Okay. I'll write it down again, the question. 2x squared. We're going to factorise 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. By the way, it's a chocolate brownie. Okay. So we've got this as the question. We're trying to factorise it. So this is the method. So bear with me. It's going to be a bit confusing maybe at first, but it will work out in the end. So we take our 2 and 15 and multiply them together to make 30. Now what I try and do is I try and find numbers that multiply to make 30 and add to make 13. Numbers that multiply to make 30 and add to make 13. So I write the factors of 30, 30 and 1, 15 and 2, 10 and 3. The ones that add to make 13 is 10 and 3. Because they multiply to make 13, add to make multiply to make 30 and add to make 13. So what I do now is I split that 13x up into 3x and 10x. So this is the same as 2x squared plus 3x plus 10x plus 15. So all I've done is I've split that 13x. Okay, now I look at this part of the expression and this part of the expression. And with the left part of the expression there, I factorise where possible. The common factors between those two terms, 2x squared and 3x, is x. So I can write this as x brackets 2x plus 3. I can do the same thing for the second half of the expression. I can factorise where possible, and the common factor is 5. So this is plus 5 brackets 2x plus 3. Now notice that these two things in the box are the same. So I can actually factor out the box. Okay, and I could rewrite this as x plus 5 times by the box. And the box is 2x plus 3. So there I factorised out the box from x and the box from 5. And notice how this method is like I've undone the example in 1. So I've just sort of undone this example here. Hopefully you can see that if you look at the example 1 and compare it to what I've just done, it's in reverse. Okay, I can put these zeros in because the question was solve, and then we would just continue this question in the same way that we did on example 2 over here. Okay, it's a bear trap. Okay, so that's how to factorise it using this method. We're going to do one more question. I've got 2 minutes left to do a difficult question.
Is that Mr. Williams?
Sorry for that rude interruption. Mr. Williams was just answering the door in the maths office. Okay. Right, let's continue. We're going to do a more difficult example now. So, we're going to solve 6x squared plus 9x minus 10 is equal to 0. We're going to solve this. It's going to take the same steps as in the previous video. We take that 6 and that minus 10 and we multiply them together. This gives us minus 60. So now we're looking for numbers that multiply to make minus 60 and add to make 9. So what I might do is I might list all the factors of minus 60. Minus 60 and 1, or 60 and minus 1. Minus 30 and 2, or 30 and minus 2. Minus 15 and 4, or 15 and minus 4. Minus 10 and 6, or 10 and minus 6. Now which one is it? Well, you can see that the only one that adds to make 9 is this one here, 15 and minus 4. So what I'm then going to do is I'm then going to rewrite the equation, but I'm going to split that 9x into 15x and minus 4x. So 6x squared plus 15x minus 4x minus 10 is equal to 0. All I've done is I've split that 9 up into 15 plus minus 4x. Okay. Now I factorise these two parts where possible. So if we look at the left part first, the common factor is 3x. So this is going to be 3x brackets. Well, when I factorise out that, maybe you can think about it yourself, what is that going to be? If I factorise it, I'm going to get 2x plus 5. Okay, that's factorising out just that bit. Now the second half, if I factorise out, I get minus 2 brackets 2x plus 5. Just check that you agree with that. Okay, now I can put this in a box and this in a box because they're the same thing, and I can factorise out the box. So I'd be left with 3x minus 2 times by the box, which is 2x plus 5. Okay. We're at this stage now, we've factorised it. Okay. We could check at this point that it was correct, but I'm not going to do that because I'm hoping it is correct. Okay, now remember we can put this in a bubble, so we've got bubble times box is 0, so that means either the bubble is 0 or the box is 0. The bubble is 3x minus 2 and the box is 2x plus 5. Okay, so if 3x minus 2 is 0, that means that 3x is 2, which means that x is 2/3. Now my other option is that 2x is equal to minus 5, which means that x is minus 5 over 2. Okay. Just before we finish, you're looking for a white wedding. Okay, so the answer to this question was x is 2/3 or x is minus 5 over 2. Now the hardest bit of this method is this part here, finding factors of minus 60 which add to make 9. I've gone over my normal 10 minutes, very sorry for that. We'll go over this more in class and get some practice on this. Okay, thanks for watching.